So, crafting your unique trading plan. This is where it gets interesting. This is where it gets very interesting. I got here. Creating a trading plan that consistently generates profits from the markets is a challenging endeavor that requires a combination of skill, discipline, and continuous optimization. Then I got here some steps to help you develop such a plan. And these are outlined in these 4 pillars. These 4 pillars, along with the summary and the actionable step. It's very interesting. But there's a bit of a disclaimer though. No guaranteed success in trading, and losses are an inevitable part of the actual journey. But what is essential is to actually manage your risk carefully, remain disciplined, and continuously strive to improve your skills and systems over time. See this? This is the motive right here. To continuously strive to improve your skills and systems over time. That is the motive, to constantly improve. I know about managing risk, but you realize the more you improve, the better you are at this managing risk. But let us begin. The first one, the management models. Trade management. How do you actually intend to manage your running position? Set alerts, more alerts. Why you say set alerts? Especially with the system and the methodology that I infer to you guys, it's not one where it's like you always have to be on charts, you always have to be monitoring the position. It's just a matter of setting your alerts in specific areas and remaining calm. Leave your charts, like set and forget, so to speak. Where do you set alerts? So that's the real question. At your targets, at your invalidation points, at your entry. Say for this last one, key moments in price development that's congruent with your trading processes. Example, when a mitigation happens that will warrant you waiting for like a switch in order flow, or when certain objectives are met, or when your overall sequence of events are met. So say for instance, you're expecting price to make the reverse switch in order flow. You can set an alert at that level, so much that you don't gotta be sat in front of the charts waiting for price to actually make the switch in order flow, the reverse switch in order flow. You just set your alerts, complete another task that you maybe have to do, and only look back at charts when you realize that these things are being ticked off, where the reverse switch in order flow happens, where the support and liquidation happen, when the mitigation happen, these type of things. The second part in regards to management models is your risk management. How do you actually intend, or how much do you actually intend to risk on a single trade? I have here to make this static as dynamic risk model messes with your data set. So you don't want a situation where you got 10 trades and all of them got varying risk profiles. So say for example, you got 10 trades, you win 5, you lose 5, and the average R of 4. So 5 times 4 is 20R. That's how much you got on the data set. But so taking those 5 losses, so 15 losses. But you see, the moment that you actually employ a dynamic risk model, where all of a sudden, instead of you risking 1% static, you going from 1% to maybe 2% to maybe 0.5%, and all of a sudden, where the static risk model will grant you the 15R or 15%, the dynamic risk model messes with the data set in this regard, because you might find out of the 5 trades that you lost, some of them were 2% risk, some of them were 1% risk, and maybe a couple were 0.5% risk. And say for example, your wins aren't the static 1% risk. You might employ a risk model that allows you to just risk 0.5% on a trade, and that trade end up being a winner. So instead of you actually getting the 4%, as the 4 would dictate, the average R, then you're just messing about, because it won't be 4 anymore or 4%, it would just be 2%. Obviously the same would happen if you employ like a risk model where you're risking 2% now. But the point is, making your risk actually static, it does wonders in regards to you actualizing your data set, because you don't want a situation happen where you're undershooting how much you're actually supposed to get because you employ a different risk model. But it's crucial to know the metrics surrounding your actual data. So knowing was your maximum loss rate, was your average risk to reward, was your profit factor, like these type of things are widely important. The second part is, what is your personal maximum daily loss limit. So after how many hits will you actually close the charts, or just shut down your MT5 or MT5 or MT4 terminals? Mine personally, 2% in a day, but I don't allow myself to go to take more than one loss in a day. More than one loss, two loss is not for me, because I know that's my limit where this is concerned. It helps me to manage risk and not more or less go on tilt. That's the main thing you're trying to avoid, going on tilt. The next point is like, how are you going to calculate your position size? So you looking at a position, you're seeing where your stop loss is, you're seeing where your target is, you know how much you want to risk, as your risk profile is static. But how are you going to calculate position size? The same website I showed before, Cashback, where you could just calculate your lot size for Dow based on the position size. Yeah, the like contract size, so the pip size, how much your stop loss actually is, how much you intend to risk, just calculate. And this will determine how much you're actually risking on such a position. This will determine how much you're risking on the position. You gotta get specific in this process, because you don't want a situation where it's like you're scrambling trying to figure out, how am I actually going to place this order, or how am I actually going to calculate my position size when the opportunity arises. That way to get extremely specific where it's concerned. For the second pillar, it dealing with the trading session, the accounts, and the symbols, and it's more or less straightforward. What time does your session begin and when does it end? That is a real question. When does it begin and when does it end? Before your session begins, you should be ready to operate professionally. What I mean by operating professionally is priming your mind, making sure that you actually are employing a mental framework that would allow you to behave as though a professional behaves. So I got this question, this probing question: how do you actually do this? Your pre-session analysis. So what are you doing to prime your mind and body to operate at maximum efficiency? You got your mental check-ins in regards to like psychology. You got like a journal in the morning where you get up and gratitude and show some sort of gratitude for the mere fact that you're alive this day. You got your pre-session analysis done. You know exactly what you're doing before your session starts, or those key activities that you usually do before your session start, just so that you could prime your mind to more or less into the battlefield with yourself and your mind in trading. It gets very interesting. Incorporate activities or tasks that will allow you to win the day before you even touch charts. What do you mean by winning the day before you even touch charts? You know, this is a ideology that I adopted around about 2023 when I had my system, the 15-second model, but I was actualizing my data. Yes, I was still getting nice trades and passing accounts and actually making money, but it wasn't as consistent as I'd like. And I did some deep work in regards to how my mind operates where this is concerned. So I have here a little windy day before you even touch charts, because I found I would go into my trading day trying to actually get a win, and I did some introspection, as I said, and the reason for that was because I didn't win the day before I touched the chart. So I implemented this component to my system, to my overall system, and I realized I'd doing some things that would allow me to win the day before I even look at charts, or before I even begin trading. So the pre-session analysis, the stuff I do before actually opening the chart, and even like pre-session analysis, that's how I relay it in the group. Whereas like I putting up my analysis, what I intend to do, how I intend to behave, how I intend to navigate prices delivery for the day. These type of things, like say for example, going to the gym or going get some exercise, doing some reading, studying a language, like getting more towards your goals, like becoming focused and entering the flow state before you actually even go and touch your charts. And I have here like a sub point, so much so that you don't even have to come in the trade session desperate for a win. This is the part I try to eliminate, Or this is the part you should be trying to eliminate, so you don't go come into a trading session desperate for a win. Simple recommendation: complete other tasks, pre-session analysis videos or outlooks, even exercise. It's calm. Now coming on to the symbols and trading accounts. For the symbols and trading accounts, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. What pair will you actually trade? Specialize, don't generalize. So instead of you looking at 7 different pairs, try to determine the characteristics of 7 different pairs, or not even saying 7, say 2 or 3. Specialize, choose one and learn the characteristics fully. Yes, I can say this because I got systems for Dow, for EU, for DAX, right, the Deutsche Index, but I only employ one, and that one is focused on Dow Jones Index. I say, yeah, I got these systems for these other pairs, but I don't intend to employ them simultaneously. It was a situation where I am allowed to actually play the Dow model, play the DAX model, or play the EU model. It would mean that I will be focusing on that model specifically. I wouldn't be messing around with Dow in such instances, because of the idea of focus, because the idea of remaining streamlined, and actually getting after something specific rather than something general. That was the ideology behind this bit. Specialize, don't generalize. Now this one's simple. Which accounts are you going to trade the system? So you intend to play with challenge accounts, personal accounts, funded accounts, phase 1 accounts, phase 2 accounts. Like, was the real accounts that you're looking to play with, or are you looking to play the system with? Get specific where this is concerned. No. Pillar 3, the trading processes. Entry model. What are your sequence of events? Where do you tend to get involved? What conditions are you trading under? How are you behaving as your condition, or as your sequence of events develop? When are you actually getting involved when price fulfills your criteria for entry? Why are you executing or getting involved? Yes, if you can answer these questions with a level of clarity that is unmatched, or a level of detail that is unmatched, but yet still you can optimize it and put it into a very calm, a very simple, clean and coherent sequence of events, or like a few bullet points, it will do you wonders. It will do you wonders. What I mean by this, here for example, with my system and how I have it outlined, so to speak. Price mitigated the OFR. Is there a switch in order flow? Is there a reverse switch in order flow? Is there a support and liquidation? Is the time 8 a.m. to 1 p.m.? Have I drawn the PR2, pricing range tool on the 15-minute order flow range? Have I set the limit? You know, calm, extremely calm, extremely calm. But it came from answering these questions in very specific detail. Very, very, very specific detail. Now for the exit model. Where are you actually targeting? What's your objective to be met based on your analysis, and where's the liquidity you're playing towards? If you get clarity on these 3 things, then your exit model becomes very, very, very easy. It's either R, neither R. So it's like, before you actually touch your position, you know what, I play into this liquidity R, or I expect price to play to such an objective. That's what these questions can help you figure out. Where you're playing towards, what you're actually doing. Get specific, get very specific. Get specific and optimize so much so that it becomes as calm as ever, as clean as ever, as like minimalistic, so to speak. Whereas you don't have full-on sentences or full-on paragraphs, but following the main idea from the what's the word, the extended prose that you're writing. Prose is like just like written text, to be honest. So it's like, instead of me saying I would be targeting the order flow range liquidity, which is this and which is that, I just write order flow liquidity because that's the main point. That's what you're actually getting at, order flow range liquidity. But to get to such a stage where it's so simple and minimalistic, you gotta go through this part where you get specific, you get very detailed, very detailed, and lucid, so to speak, in what you're actually doing, then to refine to get to this stage. Pillar 4, the review process. Now, this is very interesting in itself because this is really growth happens. This is really growth happens. You got discipline and patience. Stick to your trading plan and avoid emotional decision making. What's interesting about this is that you can only stick to your trading plan and avoid emotional decision making when you have clarity on trade management, on your risk management, on when you're trading, what accounts you're trading, the symbols you're trading, your trading processes. You will only get to stick to your trading plan and avoid emotional decision making when these 3 pillars are extremely clear to you. Clear and refined. And when I say refined, I mean in such a state that is easy on the eye. You don't need to be running through tons of pros. Yeah, I need to start using that word because it sounds like PRO, like a pro and disadvantage. Going off topic, but so much that you don't gotta be running through. I will risk 1% per trade because, or 1 loss in a day, or have like tons of writing or tons of words to express a simple idea, or to express a simple motive, so to speak. So the idea to be able to stick to your trading plan and avoid emotional decision making, you gotta get clarity on these 3 pillars. You must get clarity on these 3 pillars. Otherwise, you find yourself in situations where you're making emotional decisions because you don't know where you're trading. You don't know where your process is. You don't know what your entry model looks like. You don't know when to actually exit. But we move. The next step, or the next point, is to be patient and wait for high probability trading opportunities that align with your system. This following the same ideology as the first, you wouldn't know what high probability trading opportunities or trading conditions are, especially ones that align with your system, if you don't know what your system is, if you don't know what's your entry model, if you don't got clarity on what's the sequence of events, where do you intend to get involved, under which conditions, you wouldn't know. So the main point I'm trying to get at, get clarity in these things, get clarity in each pillar. And the third one is don't succumb to brain fog whilst at the charts. So you find this is where being aware comes in very handy. Being aware comes in handy, and actually like writing your emotions down, or writing your thoughts, or speaking them out loud, doing something to actually understand the thoughts that you're having within your trading session, because it could get messy. It could get messy, especially when price develop in a certain way, and it might look daunting for you to actually go after. You don't want to be in a situation where you're going after something that's not outlined in your pre-session analysis. Like when you do your outlooks, you don't want to be going after such, to be honest. I said don't succumb to brain fog whilst at the charts. Do you realize you're at the charts and you ain't got a clue what you're doing? You're just staring at charts. That's the indication. You just press this little X button right here. Press this little X button. Go and take some ear outside, or go and listen to some relaxing music, some lo-fi or something like that, and just steady your mind. Steady your mind, because that is where the battle is won, in your mind. That is indeed where the battle is won. Now this second part, the monitor and review process, the monitoring and review. Regularly review your performances, daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly. Daily and weekly come into the daily report card that I sent in the Notion templates, along with this end of week performance review. Monthly and quarterly, following the same principles or precepts outlined in the daily and weekly, just a bit more macro on a larger scale, so to speak. But regularly review your performances, your daily, how you performing on a day, how you performing when the week come, like these type of things. Keep a trading journal to track your trades, analyze your decision, and identify areas of for improvement. And this is where I have like a section embedded into my actual like live trading dashboard, where I go click I say for example Dow Jones longs. This is for my 15-second model. I come to realize this was a mistake here. It shouldn't be das Geld automat. It should be der Geldautomat. Der Geldautomat. But we move. What I mean by that, here in this journal section, what did I do wrong? What did I do right? How did trade manage? Where can I improve? Both technically and emotionally. So where can I improve like my technical skill? So my markups, my analysis, how I actually approach any charts, like my methodology. Where can I improve emotionally? What did I do that stepped out of line? Were there any emotional decisions made? These type of things. And this one is well important. Emotions before the trade, during the trade, and after the trade. Once you elaborate on these, or even just if you just jot it down and review it in like your daily report card at any day, then you will see patterns in your trading that will allow you to improve, especially where this is concerned. Very important. This very, very, very important. Conduct periodic reviews of your trading plan. So collecting data sets or collecting data. So like with your trades going forward, I usually just use like a 20 sample size for my data. So the 20 trades, I would take those 20 trades, like 20 trades that I took, of course. And then I will go in and review those 20 trades, and see how I can actually improve my trading plan as a result of the data set I got from obviously that 20 sample size. And it is in adapting to changing market conditions or optimizing your system accordingly. Like say for instance, you're realizing that before like a liquidation, you'll be waiting for a liquidation, but you're realizing you're in like how price developed through a specific period in time, the liquidation wasn't as clean, or it wasn't as warranted. Price just delivered well as a result of the changing market conditions. So going from a market that's going sideways, with a casual up move, to one that's actually trending upwards or is clearing the trend. So this is interesting in regards to conducting those periodic reviews of your trading plan, just so you could improve, just so you could improve, just so you could improve and grow. Extract the key takeaways from successful trades and mistakes. Improve your skill set and mental framework. When they say extract the key takeaways from successful trades and even the mistakes, go back to here, this journal. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? Very, very important. Once you extract the key takeaways and act on them, that is where the growth lies as well. That is where the growth lies, because you know how to approach this section here regarding improving your skill set and mental framework. Just a little summary: focus, discipline, malleability, and emotional management. Focus, stick to one system. Don't hop around strategies. Don't hop around strategies. Don't think, oh, let me just try this here, or let me go with this system and that system. Stick to one methodology. Stick to one methodology. Stick to one system. Stick to one like set criteria that you know you could execute repeatedly. Discipline, focus, but the behavioral component. Focus, but the behavioral component. Now this is interesting in itself, because focus, I have it here, is to stick to one system, but the behavioral component is how you're actually moving when you're focusing, or what you're actually focusing on. When I say discipline as focus, but the behavioral component, are you completing your pre-session analysis every day? Are you focused on completing your pre-session analysis every day? The post-session analysis, are you actually focused on becoming a professional operator? Are you actually focused on doing what it takes to execute your system as a professional would each and every day, each and every single day? Are you doing, are you focused, especially as it relates to this section where you prime your mind coming into the prime your mind and body coming into the trading session? Are you actually focused on completing your processes or staying on top of your processes? So like all your reviews, focus, but the behavioral component, discipline. Malleability, it represents your ability to change with ease and never settle in. where this is concerned, being able to change with ease. So you get key takeaways from your successful trades and mistakes, and you know how to implement certain, or you know how to exactly like just extract these key takeaways and implement certain systems and processes that would allow you to take advantage of being malleable. Make sense? I hope it makes sense. But if I go back to how you have here, for malleability represents your ability to change with ease and never settling, always reviewing when you see certain changing conditions, optimizing, knowing how to navigate when you realize like a specific situation in your own trading, whereas like you know you're not performing well, look into why you're not performing well. But the malleable part is being able to change when you realize that you know you're not performing well. So by optimizing, by improving, by extracting these key takeaways, I reckon that's how you become malleable and never ever settling. Emotional management. Now this one is calm. Being aware and controlling your emotional state efficiently. Being aware. Knowing what you're feeling, or knowing how your emotions trying to mess with your behavior, trying to mess with your actions. Knowing how to actually control your emotional state when in these high pressure situations. Now, one way in which I went about doing this here was stress testing. So I would forcefully put myself in drawdown, deep drawdown. Forcefully put myself in deep drawdown and stress test the situation so that I stick to all of these pillars, all of these components that would allow me to get out of the drawdown and bring back the account, so to speak. Stress testing, it would do marvelous work, especially as it relates to enhancing or elevating your emotional management skills. That is what I can recommend. But it stems from being aware and controlling your emotional state efficiently. Controlling your emotional state once you reach those high pressured environments. But how could you control your emotional state if you didn't even find yourself in those high pressure environments? This could be dangerous, but put yourself in high pressure environments. Put yourself to grow. Put yourself to be malleable, so to speak. But this is very interesting. Any questions that you have regarding these, or regarding the? Right, hang on, so we do there, but we move. But regarding the whole pillars, all the different pillars and the summary, just let me know. Send me a message. Let me know what you're thinking. Now for the last thing, the actionable step: craft your trading plan, taking each pillar into consideration. Fill out each session and put a system in place for each component that needs one. So say for example, like your review process or your trading process, data collection process, pre and post session processes. For like review process, you already got the daily report card and the weekly and like the end of week performance review. And that's as a result of the Notion templates that I sent. The trading processes system, this is what I mean, entry model, exit model. Building this out, getting clear, then refine it so it becomes calm, simple to actually look at. It's very, very simple to actually look at. Then data collection processes, how you actually going about collecting data. This is something I yet to touch on because it's very interesting, collecting data. And your pre and post session processes, like what you doing before you touch charts, what you doing after you touch charts to maintain high performance levels, to maintain a steady mind throughout. Put a system in place for each component that needs one. And just another actionable step: send me a copy of your unique trading plan for review if you want me to review it, especially like the technical side and like what feedback you give in regards to clarity and how simplistic it actually is, where you might need to clarify on. Just send me it. I can provide feedback and possible optimizations. So that is all for that is all where this guide is concerned, crafting your unique trading plan. I hope it's supposed to be your I hope that it's valuable. I hope that you understand. I hope that you actually got some key takeaways, and I urge you to complete these actionable steps, Don't just get the walkthrough and all sorts. Just do. Implement processes, because this is really actually improve in your trading by implementing these processes and actually following them. So that was all from me. It's calm. Have a good one.